All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Smart Entrepreneurs Lounge. My name is Greg Karawa, and I'm an internet entrepreneur. Guys, today I have Daniel Westby, a 22-year-old entrepreneur who started actually a year ago in entrepreneurship and was able to fire his boss on the same year and started living on his own terms. He's now actually traveling the world, helping people achieve financial freedom and also fire their own bosses. Daniel, what's
Yeah,
up, man?
pretty good. How's it going?
Going pretty good, buddy. Listen, for those of the people who are right here with us do not know a thing about you, could you tell us briefly about yourself?
Yeah, I'll try to give it a quick story. I'm born Canadian, born in Edmonton. Traveled to Calgary when I was younger. I actually had, a very different childhood from what most people would expect. Someone that does entrepreneurial or finds success. I actually had my first dad die when I was really young from a heroin overdose, and that really affected me by the fact that my mom was, single right after that. From there, she actually found another gentleman that she married a year later that was at the time actually sleeping on his sister's couch, but he owned his own business in the oil field. He owned Cub Engineering, which was an oil contracting business, and throughout our childhood, just meeting with his other family, which was about three other brothers and one sister, they melded together with my brother and my brother and me, who's my younger brother, Andrew. And during that whole time when we were living together, he finally actually got his business really successful when oil just started booming again. And we were really privileged when we were young to travel the world. We got to go around to Europe, Central America, all over Caribbean, and experience a lot of culture. And that's when I realized there's a lot more to the world than our backyard. But actually, he sadly had a issue with alcoholism. So by the time I was 14 is the time that he separated from my mom, back to single parent mode again, where she was working full time to try and not have us in a way that live an unhappy life. She pretty much sacrificed every single hour of her day to keep us living the same lifestyles, being able to play sports, play music, do all that, and be successful in school. So I was someone that tried to work hard in return to do that. So I was working since I was 14 years old, a regular job. Did honor rolls all through high school to hopefully my goal was to become a surgeon. But it actually turned out as soon as I was looking into schools and things like that, surgeon, I realized, that or engineering, because I thought that was first what my dad did. But I realized I didn't want to have a job that you'd hate, because that's the reason why, people go into substance abuse, because they hate their life and that they hate the things they do, so they look for something to cope with it. And from there, I realized, as much as I'd love to, make really good money being a doctor, it wasn't really worth the personal stress that could have ruined what my future family would be. So I wanted to find
Right.
something that I could truly enjoy myself. So music was my next option. And I went to school for doing some music and learning about music production and all that. And I learned really quick after spending $10,000 in schooling that, and that was only for one semester. I learned that with music production, you wouldn't be able to really support a family if you wanted to on that. So from there, I kind of was starting young, trying to look for my own path in life. I still didn't have entrepreneurship then, but when I was 19, I decided to go deep into the workforce, working in a sawmill in my local town. It was a really good paying job. I was able actually to afford a mortgage to buy a condo at the age of 19 with that, just because, again, I worked my butt off to try and save up, do anything I could just to try and make my mom proud. And within a year of working at that sawmill, I actually realized that it was poisoning my body with arsenic. So
Wow.
I had to actually make the decision then to, sacrifice a good-paying job that, I could comfortably live off of for my own health. And it was actually during that time I fell back into serving, and for me that would be my like closest to feeling defeated, because I had a really good life. I was going somewhere. I had people that are proud of me, and I had to go back to pretty much the same job I had when I was 14 years old. And during that time, I was just looking for something, a little bit different. So that it was during that serving time that I actually found my first glimpse of entrepreneurship.
Right. And so I guess the question that I have for you is, what made you decide to get into entrepreneurship, and when did that transition actually started? When was that uh awareness, just sort of kind of hit you and you're like, damn, you know,
Um, It actually didn't really hit me super fast. That's a funny thing. And when I was serving, for the entrepreneurial job that I have now, actually, I was approached by just looking on what would be the world's Craigslist, but the Canadian version. And I was looking just to get out of my serving job. It was something that I just realized, I was no longer enjoying. And during that, I actually just came across a post that at first I thought was just going to be something that I could at least enjoy as just a regular job, just a job. But as soon as I replied to it, actually, I realized it was an opportunity to own your own business. And I actually almost passed it up. During that time, I was looking for a bunch of jobs, so I actually got applied to do door-to-door sales, which I'm super glad I didn't do because it's something which, not the funnest job, especially in Canada, having to go in the freezing cold and bother people at their doors when they're just wanting to stay at home, in their comfort. So I actually had an interview for that, and they really wanted me to work there. But then I had this opportunity to run my own business, and at first I was almost one of those people that thought it'd be too good to be true, something that I couldn't do because of my past, something that I thought that only the very special in the world are able to achieve. That's what I first thought, but I just decided to really go hear about it because I had spare time in my day. That's surprisingly how mine started. Is it just I had spare time in my day, I went to it, and when I learned about it, I realized I kind of had just like a light bulb just click in me that realized, like I've been doing the same thing over and over and over again and not getting different result. And I realized that was a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result when you weren't getting
I
it.
agree with you.
So I actually decided right there, I was like, you know what, I have to take the chance. Like there's nothing that's really changing, and it's so easy to go back to that regular job if I needed to. So when you have a chance like that, I just decided to really just take it. And that's really when I first thought about entrepreneurship. And the further that I got into it, the more I fell in love with it. The more I realized, you can live on your own terms. You can do the work that you want when you want. You don't have a boss. You can enjoy the people you enjoy. You can avoid the people you want to avoid. You can do the things in life which you can really control your own life instead of having somebody control yours for your own.
And so how has being a entrepreneur changed your life so far?
So far, how it's changed it is pretty much everything. It's one of the things that personally has taught me more than university education. I never liked reading books in school. Like I was smart, but I'd only read them for exams and tests, and even some of the times I wouldn't read books and just read the book review online quickly before doing a test and still get good grades. But for me, it's actually learned me to personally develop, and that's one thing that probably has changed my life the most. And that's something that entrepreneurship was one of the things it did, is help me personally develop. It got me the chance to really understand myself. And the second thing that it was able to do is give me a financial freedom, like something that before I was always living on my credit card. I'm actually slowly going more into debt because life always kicks you when you're down. That's always true. But with entrepreneurship, it's able that when you put in that extra 110% to get yourself out, you actually do get out. And from there, I was able to completely change my life around by firing my boss. I was able to now travel on my own terms, make money while I travel. A lot of things that I really would have not expected to be possible.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you mentioned a bit earlier, about your reason and about your why that you got started into entrepreneurship. Did you want to say that again? Like
My
what,
reason.
like yeah, like what's your why?
My why for me personally was, my mom's 52 years old and still working. She works from home, which is kind of what got me the excitement of working from home myself. But she's someone that wakes up before I wake up and is on her computer working. And when I go to bed, she's still working. And for me personally, she's been doing that since I can barely remember. And I wanted to just find a way that I would actually be able to get her out of that. Something that I can do that can give back to people that care about me. My grandparents are living, they bought a condo in like an old person's living establishment, and their dream is to just travel the world in their RV, and they aren't able to do that because of finances. I also know my brother personally. He's a genius, like one of those perfect geniuses you would not imagine. But again, it's hard to pay for the exact education that he really wants. to follow his passion, and that also can you put people into like a sad state of depression when they can't do what they truly want because of finances. So I personally realize that this is my why, is I want to really give back to people that have made my life so magical, which is my brother, my mom, and my grandparents. And if I'm able to walk in one day, before my mom turned 60 and give her a check and just say, stop working, I will cover all your bills for the rest of your life, you no longer need to worry, that is my number one goal.
Wow, it's powerful, dude. It's real powerful. And do you truly believe that in today's times and in today's economy, do you believe that it's important to work smart, and why? Why is it important to be working smart?
um,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I actually do believe it's good to work smart. I believe it's actually two things that you really need, and this is something that no matter what it is in life you need to do. You do need to work smart, but also work hard. Working hard alone won't get enough. That's something that I was doing since I was 14 years old. I always worked as hard as I could, and there's always a barrier that holds you, because it's the people that work smart that become that 3% in the world. The Warren Buffetts, the J.P. Morgans, the Donald Trumps. Those are the kind of people that you have to realize what's around you and kind of use it to your advantage. I find knowledge is one thing, and hard work is another, but attitude, knowledge, and hard work all together are what make it. So working smart is super important, because the world's not the same way it used to be 30 years ago. It's
Yes.
awesome, and I still believe that people can make money doing manual labor, doing welding and things like that. But we know nowadays, like, the internet's less than 30 years old, and well over half the money in the entire planet of Earth is now conducted through the internet. And if people don't really grasp
That's
that
crazy,
concept,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's insane to think that. And if people don't really grasp that concept, they're really missing out on so much. And that's why working smart's important, because you need to learn how things work, not just how to work.
Yes, amen to that. That's so true. And there's a lot of people right now who are actually watching, and some of them are probably thinking to themselves, well, I'm not sure about this, and I'm not really sure what's the best step to take, and I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna work out for me, and I guess what's the best, what are the best steps for people to take who are looking to get into entrepreneurship and start working smart today? Or I guess, what are the best steps to take if someone is looking to work for themselves?
There's a few things I would say. One is find something that you can do when the going gets tough. Find something that you're so in love with that it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if you're, if it's the worst day in the world. Something that you still want to do, and still want to do more than you want to breathe, sleep, and eat. The second thing I guess that I would say for that is, when you're looking to get into especially entrepreneurship, the one thing you want to look at too is also something that you can fall in love with all about it. So find something that if you want to be your own CEO, make sure you can fall in love with the things that you do. Be the best. Like, make it not about the profit. Make it about the purpose. And when you make it about the purpose, that's something really important. And the third thing is really don't be afraid to fail. I can admit that every single great business person in the world has failed over and over and over again, and that's why they've succeeded. It's because you learn from failures. You don't learn from not trying. You don't even learn from succeeding. You learn from the failures. And one of the biggest things that I learned was Thomas Edison. He tried to make the light bulb thousands and thousands of times, and it was when people ask him, how does it feel to fail 1,000 times? He said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 ways it didn't work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that's something that I truly believe is what you got to do. You got to learn to enjoy failure.
Yes, I agree with you there, man. I can hear all those people talking. People.
Yeah, we have. I'm currently staying with some of the people that I'm helping. Like I said, achieve financial freedom. So I'm living literally their life to get to know how they're living, and assess the situation from inside, because that's the best way to help people. You got to know where they're at.
That's awesome, man. And so, what is your life? What is your life like right now? describe your life right now, like just for everyone who is on the show right
Yeah.
now. Describe what your life is like right now.
Two words, the best way to describe it. One is incredible, and second is uncomfortable. The thing is, I've learned that being comfortable is not something you should enjoy, and you should get comfortable with being uncomfortable because being successful takes a lot of discomfort. It's going out of your comfort zone, going out of what you're used to, going out of what your normal routine was. Because if our routines and habits were what successful people had, we'd already be successful, right? So I learned that because we aren't where we want to be right now, we have to change ourselves, and that's what personally developing that is. That's what doing the things you wouldn't normally do. For me, being comfortable would be sleeping till noon, playing video games, eating pizza pops, and that was my old comfortable. I learned, if that was what would make me successful in life, I would have already been successful doing that. So
Yes.
it's definitely uncomfortable in the best sense of the word. I've got to experience so much more. I've got to experience so much more culture and people, and amazing as well. Like I would have never expected at 22 that I can live in different areas of the world, weeks at a time, and um, you know still be making more money than I would at a regular job. I would have never expected to be able to fire my boss at 22 years old and do it on my terms.
Mm.
It's really something that and until you try, until you taste it, you can't really even describe it. Really, like it's something that I hope everyone gets a chance to taste of. The feeling of freedom in time freedom. Like even if financial freedom isn't your thing, time freedom, because I find that's probably the biggest thing that people want is the freedom to do what they want with their life. And when you finally get to do that, that's something that's crazy to feel. It's again one of the biggest feelings to ever have for yourself.
Wow, dude, that was amazing. Listen, man, we're almost time's up right now. So, listen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us on the show. And I'm big on just helping people become aware of what they are capable of achieving. Entrepreneurship is the key to prospering in today's economy, guys. Entrepreneurship is so important, and when you can find people like Daniel, who's already achieved it, people who are actually living the dreams, living their life of the dream. It's good to show that to everybody and show what's possible when you become so passionate about what you do. And so yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, man, for taking out your time and coming on the show and sharing your story, because it means a lot to me, and it means that there is someone out there who is either who's either on the verge of thinking of starting to get into entrepreneurship, or there's someone who's still on the side, sort of skeptical and not really sure. I don't know if I can be my own boss. I'm telling you guys can do it. you know Daniel can do it, you can do it, I can do it, you can do it. So listen, man, if you have anything else to say, did you want to say anything else, or is that it?
The biggest thing that I will tell people, like last thing, is what's the worst that can happen? You can always go back to a job. You can always find another job. Always give it a try, and not just give it a try, but give it a whole 125%, because that there is no dropping once you're done. It's just you succeed or you fail until you succeed, and that's the best thing that I'd say.
Thank you so much for your time, bro, and I will definitely stay connected with you. And everybody who's on the show for tonight, thanks for watching. And I'll be on tomorrow with an entrepreneur from Your Health, a network marketing company. And so stay tuned for that. And guys, bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you, bro.